Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Introduction to Web Development. Now in this video we are going to be kind of wrapping up our final kind of website, tying together all of the knowledge that we've gained so far. And in the next video I'm going to be kind of making a what's next on the channel style video, I believe, where I'll kind of just be going over my future plans for videos and stuff like that. So for this video, we are going to be covering our inputs, because as you can see right now, all of our inputs are just like black, they're just like squares with black border, and then there's a submit button here, but we're going to add some cool styles to give it like a border radius, make it curved a little bit, add some coloring, some text coloring even, and stuff like that. And to be honest, we might even have to look stuff up. And again, I'm like, at least for these project-based videos, I'm going to be going through as if like I am creating this. So if I don't know something, feel free to look it up. It's done all the time in all disciplines of programming. Even professional programmers look stuff up constantly. There's an entire website called Stack Overflow that is built for that. And like I have answered questions there. Like it's a resource that's used by all programmers, and you can ask questions, answer them, or even look at other, answered questions from other people. So let's go ahead and jump straight into our code. So let's open our index.html and our style.css. So the first thing we are going to be doing is styling our inputs. We have our email input, our username input, our password input, and our submit button. And then of course, well actually not of course, we do not have any classes. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to give each of these text-based inputs a class called we can just say our form-input or something. And I'm going to go ahead and give that to this, and give that to this. And this one's going to be a little different since it's a button. I'm talking like form input, as in like we should probably just say text-input to kind of denote like this is supposed to be these text ones. So we're going to add a styling for our text-inputs. And then we are going to give it a border radius. So that's the first thing, border dash radius, and then let's give it a border dash radius of 1 pixel. And if you can see here, it actually barely makes a difference. Let's keep it 1 pixel, and then let's like zoom in, and even like zooming in, you can't see it very well. Let's make it 5. 10. Oh, okay, there's a problem then. Oh, that's my bad. So as you can see, I named the class text-input, but on the styling, I put text-inputs. So if I save that now it's like a circle. Okay, so that's a little bit too much. If I put it back to 1, actually that's perfect. And notice here when I do add that border radius, it makes it curved, or I mean it makes it like thicker for some reason. And I don't know exactly why, but let's go ahead and just try giving it a border width, which is a border thickness. If I change that to 1px, there we go, it gets thinner. So we're going to give it a border radius and a border width. And I'm going to increase the border radius to like 2 pixels or 3 pixels, 4. There we go, that's nice. So remember, this border width is actually what determines the thickness of the border itself. So it's 1 pixel wide, or like, all across. And then it's border radius of 4 pixels just means it's kind of curved. And if we set it to 10 pixels, for example, it becomes almost like an ellipse, oval. If I set it to 4, it's like a nice curved rectangle. And actually, there is this little discrepancy that when we select it, it kind of gets this little background, and I'm not sure why. So this is one way to debug. We click this little button here, select an element to inspect, and then we can click on the input. And then we can come here to say event listeners, or not event listeners, properties, or not properties. Let's see, let me increase the size so I can see this better. It actually might just be, yeah, it's just styles. So if I toggle the active, or the focus, there we go, focus, we can see it has this little like discrepancy, and I'm not sure what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look. So that's the border. So yeah, let's go ahead and look that up. So HTML input, when focused, has second border or something like that. Doesn't have to be super specific. Boom. So we're at Stack Overflow. This is the website I was talking about. The question has a downvote, but that's because this is a duplicate. So there we go. We can click on this, and then boom. This is a check mark. It usually means it's the correct answer of some sort. And try outline width 0. So actually, what if we just try outline dash width to be 0? And let's see what that does. Let's see if that actually fixes our problem. Boom, it does. So again, like that was a problem that I genuinely didn't know how to fix. I looked up HTML input when focused, because the way we figured that out is, let me just remove this, is I came on here and then went to focus. So like in the styles, I added focus, which is the same thing as when you click on it basically, except it forces it. And then I could see like, okay, when it's focused, there's this second border. So I said when focused has second border. And then boom, the first result was a Stack Overflow. And then it was a duplicate, so I just clicked on the one with the most answers, and this one had a green check. So yeah, and I see outline width 0. That seems outline none. You know, all these seem to be working. So I'll just go with outline width 0. And that gets rid of that extra border. So that's nice. And then let's close this and just fix the sizing. All right. So yeah, we're back to our regular size here. And then, so I think the next thing that we're going to add is a border color and a text color. So again, we can come back here to our RGB color codes. Let's just make it like, who knows? Let's give it like a medium aquamarine border color. So we can just add a border dash color, and then remember this is a color code. It's a hash followed by 6 kind of characters and letters, and now you can see we have an aquamarine kind of border. And then here's another question I have: CSS border 2 colors, or CSS input border rather. See, and then boom, Stack Overflow again. There are many border style. So yeah, I guess it's actually a style. So let's say we wanted it to be one color. Border dash style can just be, let's see, can just be solid. And let's see what that does. Boom. So we just get a solid kind of border, which is what we're going for this website. So now we've set like the styling and the coloring, and then we can actually change the text color. Right now it's black. To change the text color, you always just do regular color, and then you can just let's make it like medium turquoise, and then so we can just do that. And now notice our text color is this turquoise color. So we've customized pretty much all aspects of our inputs, which now, you know, I don't know if it necessarily looks better, but it looks different at the very least, which is what we're going for. And then here. So now we're going to actually be going through our output section. And this is going to involve some JavaScript. And if you missed the input video, the 2 input videos in this series, or if you missed the JavaScript for Beginners tutorial series, which I did previously before I started this one, we're going to be using some concepts from both those videos previously and the other series that I did. So if you are missing any concepts, go ahead and check those out. And I'll probably add a card for the JavaScript for Beginners tutorial series. So to start, we are going to add a script. And you always add a script generally at the bottom of the body tag before you close it. So we're going to create a script :source, or just a script source equals attribute. And then we're going to say script.js. And then we're going to create a script.js. And now these two are linked. And we're going to have to open up our console just for debugging. And just to make sure it's all working, we can do a console.log hello world, if you remember that. And boom, we get that right here. So now that we know our script is linked up, we can start adding our kind of on-click and on-change attributes. So on this email input here, input type equal email, ID equals email input, class equals text input, we can add an on-change equals. And then if you remember from the inputs video, we can say email changed. Right. And then over here, we can add an on change equal username changed. And then there. And then we can add an on change equals password changed. And I know you can pass an event, I'm pretty sure. So let me look something up. So HTML input on change e event. There we go. I'm not sure if you can pass something. I guess not. Okay. Anyways, that was a little side thing. So email change, username change, password changed. So here in our JavaScript, we're going to have to create functions for that. So email changed, and then function username changed, and then a function of password changed. And then we can remember to access the actual element, or let's first create some variables like let email, let username, and let password. And then actually we can set all of these to just empty strings for now. And then here we want to access our email input, so we're going to do document.getElement by ID, and remember to do your capitalization here. And then we want to grab our email-input, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure. Email-input, yep. And then dot value, and it's just value, not node value. So there we go. And then we want to set our email equal to it. So what this is going to do is we are going to get our email input, and then we're going to get the value, aka what is inside, and then we're going to assign that into our email variable, and we're going to copy and paste this a couple times and just fix the indentation, and we're going to change this to username, change this to password, and then we're going to just grab our username input and then our password input. And let's go ahead and yeah. So basically now whenever we update our email, our username and or password, it will basically set it into these variables here. And we can make sure that's happening by just printing our email, for example, and let's just quickly check. Boom. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I change it and boom, it prints the new value. So we know that it's updating. And then over here, we are going to now, so we've done that, and then we're going to display it on submit. So we're going to have to create some more HTML here. So inside the main, after the HR, aka this kind of line here, we are going to create a, let's just create an H4 or an H3, and we'll call it output colon. And we'll just leave it black for now. And then we're just going to add some simple stuff, P, and then we're going to give this a P called ID equals results dash email, and then we're going to copy this, P equals results dash username and dash password, username and dash password, and then we're simply going to on our submit. So we're actually, okay, let's create a function on submit, which basically is when we click the submit button. So to link this function with the actual button, we're going to come into here and set in right here into this button, and then we're going to say on change equals on submit, I guess, or not on change, my bad, on click. And what this just means is you can actually use this attribute, and no, this attribute mainly you can use on any HTML, and that's just when you click it. So if I click this text and it had an on click, then it will call some JavaScript, but we're setting it on here, and that'll call the on submit function. And to prove that that's working, we can just console.log a submit, and then if I click this, notice it prints submit up here. So instead of printing submit, whoops, we can go ahead and we can update our p tags here with our results. So we want to get our document we want to do a document.getElement by ID, and then results dash email, and then we want to set the inner text, if you remember, and then we can say that's equal to email. And notice if I change our email, boom, that adds it here. And then we can even say, like, we can set it to email is, and then whoops, and then a plus. So we're getting the document result email, so we're getting that paragraph, and then we're setting its inner text equal to the words email is, and then the actual email itself. So if we set that, boom, email is that. And remember, if any of this seems foreign to you, go ahead and check out the JavaScript for Beginners tutorial series. And then we can do a document.get element by ID results dash username, and then dot inner text equals, and then username is, and then plus username, and then we can finally do this for our password, results dash password dot inner HTML, or sorry, inner text, not inner HTML. And then we can say password is, and then plus our password. And now if we kind of play around with this, let's say Matthew at Matthew.com, let's say Matthew, and then let's just put the password as Matthew. And then boom, email is Matthew at Matthew.com, username is Matthew, password is Matthew. So that kind of concludes our simple form. And remember, in an actual website, this would route to some backend server, aka, and I'm going to go over what backend is in the kind of next video talking about what's next, which would handle logging in a theoretical user. But for now, we're just printing it right here for the user to see. So that has been kind of our simple website tying together all of the concepts that we've been learning. If you kind of were confused at any point, you can go ahead and check out one of the previous videos in this series, or one of the videos in the JavaScript for Beginners tutorial series. At least this series I've linked to in the description. And pretty much, I guess in the next video, I'm going to be going over, like I said, kind of what's to come. The video series that I'm planning to make, the videos in general that I'm planning to make. It's mostly, I'm definitely going to continue doing tutorials and then do some more stuff that I'm pretty excited to get started on. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications whenever I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.